ready, devil hunters, because you've contracted the podcast devil, the only show that pulls your ripcord.
Hello and welcome to the final episode, for now, of the podcast devil. I'm your host, Chris Wolfhart. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Anime, Danime, and Ouya Bob Video Games from GigaBoots.com.
There's no revenge better than easy revenge.
Man, what a conclusion.
And having conquered yet another devil, Dr. Aggro from Dr. Aggro.
I had to give it both of my eyes, 6 fingers, and my left nut.
Aggro, last time I saw you, you had all those things intact. Whose did you give?
Listen, I got a lot of stuff going on, and we don't have time to get into it.
I know what we do have time to get into.
Oh?
Episode 12 of Chainsaw Man, titled Katana vs. Chainsaw. Let's get right into it. We start with Aki being choked by the ghost devil. Unlike a lot of choking scenes in anime, it's doing it the proper way from the front and not the way you do in the bedroom from the sides.
This is important, both in anime and in the bedroom.
So thankfully, the ghost devil understands the way you're supposed to choke someone to kill them. Aki blacks out, and we flash back to him with Himino in a restaurant, and it's the scene where she's trying to get him to smoke, just from a different angle, from his perspective this time. He's like, I'm underage. And she's like, well, I'll just hold onto the cigarette until you're an adult who can develop an addiction.
And that's when I was like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Kids are great at forming addictions.
Yes, I too have heard of Fortnite. He wakes up, the ghost devil dropped him. It outstretches a closed hand and opens to show the cigarette she was holding on for him.
Yeah, and you see like arms laying everywhere too.
Yeah.
I think those were the ones he cut off in the initial fight before he got choked.
Yeah, because he did cut off a ton then.
He did.
Sawatari's kind of just watching like, what is happening?
You don't want to micromanage the ghost devil.
Yeah, Sawatari kind of has the same energy as me when my computer starts doing a new weird glitch, where I'm just like, I've never seen this quirky shit before. What are we doing?
It's like she's like, well, the check devil light is on, but it's still working. So I don't feel very good about it, but I don't have the money to be more involved in fixing it.
And I'm currently going 65 on an interstate, so I pray we'll get there. We'll get there.
Aki has an inner monologue about how the ghost devil can only see you if you're afraid because it doesn't have any eyes. It just senses fear. And now he isn't, so he just climbs up on top of it and decapitates it.
Yeah, it's so calm, this whole sequence. It just adds to that tension of Sawatari being like, what? What's going on?
Okay, I don't know if AMV Hell still exists.
Don't invoke that.
But if you want to get in, just take this scene and use the song from AMV Hell 3 where Osaka is holding the knife and is just going do 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 do. Put that over. Just put that over the scene.
Welcome to the podcast, devil, your number one source for AMV ideas.
Sawatari is very confused. She's like, okay. In a much worse series, she'd go, well, that just happened.
Oh, no.
And Aki just like looks at her very dispassionately. It's like there's no emotion at all.
Yeah.
It's like he's looking at her like, did I leave the oven on? No.
You know, Aki was done before all of this started. He is reaching levels of done we never thought possible.
Yes.
Yeah, he is entirely run out of it is what it is. Then's the opening. Sawatari tries to summon Snake, but Aki just says, no, don't kill her. And Sawatari's like, what? Oh, fuck. Kobeni snuck up behind me and has her knife across my neck. If Aki didn't have the future devil, Kobeni would have killed her.
Yeah, that is the closest to death any human has ever been and survived.
He asks Kobeni, why did you stay with public safety after everybody got fucking mulched? She's like, they're giving us a bonus soon.
Her phrasing is bonuses are coming up, and I'm like, you know what's the best bonus? Slitting a motherfucker's throat.
We cut to Power and Dingy, who are in an elevator. Dingy is playing with his tie, and Power is eating a zombie arm, and he's like, would you quit? And she's like, no, meat is meat, even if it's chicken, pork, or human. And she's like, no, that isn't right at all. And they start
Did not know Power was a libertarian.
I feel like even Power should be worried about eating zombie, of all things.
I assume she's just immune to illness.
I mean, Power, in her own words, is the most powerful fiend there's ever been.
She says that, but I think she knows better, actually.
These are clearly magic zombies, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the meat.
I do very much enjoy her tendency to just start pounding on Dingy whenever there's any disagreement. Because when he starts disagreeing, she just starts like trying to pound on his head, but he blocks it.
Yeah, they really do capture the shitty sibling energy perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could very easily see Dingy and Power doing that bit from The Simpsons of, well, I'm going to walk forward swinging my arms like this, and if you get hit, it's your own fault.
100% shocked they haven't done it yet.
The door opens and there's a bunch more zombies. Dingy's like, they don't notice us. Stay quiet and we can go past them. And then Power jumps forward and does the fucking Ore Sanjo kabuki shit. Is like, it is I, the great Power, the most powerful and noble fiend of all. And is like, Dingy, watch my back and sear it into your memory to tell stories of my glory, and starts killing them. And Dingy just hits the button in the elevator and keeps going up.
That's so good.
The door opens and he's right there in front of Katana and two guys with guns. He gets ready to let her rip, but Katana says he wants to negotiate, and he might even turn himself in. He's like, we just want revenge because you killed our friends and my grandpa. And then Dingy says, dude, they were already zombies. I didn't do anything but make them stop moving. Katana gets pissed and says, that's a lie, but even if it's true, it doesn't matter. Don't you still feel bad? And then she goes, no.
Nuh-uh.
Which I would also not feel bad about killing decaying zombies. These aren't like super science zombies where maybe we can have a cure.
Right. We're not bringing them back from this. There's no sign of that.
That dude ruined his life the entire time he was alive beforehand. He wouldn't even feel bad even if he weren't a zombie.
And he's like, my heart was replaced by the Katana Devil, but I still feel bad when I kill zombies. Dingy, you're the one with no human heart, so you should let me kill him. And Dingy seems to be considering, and he's like, nah. And then they explode out of a wall and start fighting.
That's pretty good.
After he takes his hand off, just like Dororo, and has the mini katana under it.
Yeah, I fucking lost it. I'm like, God damn it, my man.
That's his stabbing arm.
That's not even how it looks after he transforms.
No, they just wanted to do it.
Right?
I do wonder, does he like stab himself in the heart with that and then transforms? Is that how it works?
Ooh.
I think taking his hand off is just like his activation motion, like Denji's ripcord.
He just rips his hand off and goes Henshin.
He just makes a Dororo reference.
Can't wait till we run into the dude who does a Naruto Nimbo to invoke it.
It's gonna be Aki. We already know that.
Yeah, one, Aki. Two, Makima kind of already did that when she was juicing people. So they're fighting. It's a cool fight, and they fight across the roofs and then fall off the roofs on top of a moving train.
Yeah, they like mix it with CG really well here. It looks very nice.
Yeah, it's got a great kinetic energy to all the swings and stuff. It's real cool.
They do that thing that you're legally required to do if two characters are fighting on a rooftop in an anime, where someone gets hit real hard and slides back and like their heels hit the edge of the roof and they almost fall backwards off and then catch themselves. You have to do that if you have characters fighting on top of a roof in an anime.
That's true.
But Katana says Dingy's better than before, and he's like, well, what are you fighting for, Dingy? And Dingy says, I'm fighting because the life I have now is sweet, and so Makima will talk to me. That's it. And then they keep fighting. And they crash down through the ceiling of the train into the cabin. Katana does the quick draw move again and cuts off Dingy's arm and gets ready to do it again. And Dingy's like, wait, can we ban that move?
It's a fucking Chainsaw Man scrub quotes out here with us. Can we ban this move? It seems overpowered.
It's a weird moment in the episode compared to the manga, because like you see him look down and there's like a woman on the floor and he's like, oi, oi, oi. And it's a lot less clear in the anime that like he gets his arm cut off because he's protecting that woman.
Yeah, that's true. It didn't really convey that, but I assumed that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like visually that wasn't there, but
Yeah, it was not conveyed.
Yeah, like you saw the setup and you made the assumption, but it wasn't quite in the cut.
He does it again and cuts off Dingy's other arm.
Tis but a scratch.
I'm starting to side with Denji here. This move seems like bullshit and they should ban it.
Next, you're gonna ask them to ban Makima.
I'm sorry, I can't ask for that.
Katana says, "Owarida," and asks him to apologize to his grandpa before he dies. And Denji's like, "No, I can still fight. I have a chainsaw on my face. I can kill you with that." And they do a big jumping clash. Like, he clashes with the quick draw move again. And Denji's face chainsaw breaks. And Katana says to apologize to his grandpa, and then he'll kill him quick. And Denji says, "Well, it's a good thing you're such a fucking idiot that you actually assumed I was trying to kill you with my face. Didn't you ever hear that beasts should never trust a hunter?" And then it's like, "I grew a chainsaw out of my leg."
Yeah, that's really good, because now I'm just imagining there was a nanosecond flash kick we couldn't see there.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that he hit him with the delay slash with a goddamn chainsaw is horrifying.
How did this dude not notice he'd been chainsawed in half?
I assume that there has to be like some fucking like Battle Angel Alita shit going on with these devils, where it's like, no, our pain receptors are fucking gone.
Look, his leg, as it approached the speed of light doing his flash kick, became infinitely narrow.
Denji learned what you do when somebody comes at you across the screen with a super. You hold down back and don't press any buttons. And then when you block it, you press up and kick.
I'm glad Denji figured out wake up Shoryukens.
But he split down the middle and just falls into pieces. Then we cut ahead and he wakes up and he's tied up in his underwear and like tied up with Denji's chainsaw chains, which I didn't know he could do, but that's obviously what those are.
Yeah.
Denji took off his shirt.
Well, it was ruined, I assume, because he got the arms torn off.
I guess that's true, but I would think he consciously took off the remainder.
It might have been hard to put his arms back on, like, through the tattered sleeves.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's
How did he get it off, though?
You bite your collar.
Do you have a lot of experience with this, Bob?
I could see him, like, scratching it off with his chainsaw leg like a dog.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that could also happen.
I really enjoy the split down the front of his fucking pant leg from where his chainsaw leg cut through.
I think his shoe's still intact, though, which is confusing.
I didn't even notice that. Obviously, he kicked off his shoes really fast when they caught in the chain, and none of us noticed.
Katana yells that he's going to kill him, and Denji's like, "Oh, losers sure like to make noise, huh? Man who barely won."
Man who earned scrub quote of the week.
Denji then says, "Well, I'm not really satisfied with just winning because you killed Himino, which means there's one less hot woman in the world. And it doesn't seem fair that you get to do that horrible crime and then just get to spend the rest of your life in jail." And Katana seems really confident that Denji won't just kill him. So he's like, "Well, there's nothing you can do about it." And then she says, "Well, we're just going to have a contest." And then Aki shows up and Denji goes, "Hey, do you want to play? We're going to have a nut shot contest and just kick him in the balls over and over until the police get here."
Until they started doing it, I thought the contest was going to be throwing rocks at his balls.
Yeah, this is unhinged. Katana made a real mistake here by being like, "Hey, you're a government dog," and then his logic implies that he thinks Denji is on the level.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, "You're just a government dog," and Denji goes, "But I'm also mentally an 8th grader."
Katana Man has not listened to or taken in anything Denji has said or done. He decided on his path to revenge and has not added new information to his worldview.
Truly, his ruination was spelled out in his inability to perceive the man he was engaging with and evolve.
Yeah, that's true. He wouldn't have tried to talk him down the way he did at the beginning of this episode if he understood who Denji was at all.
Right?
Aki plays the adult and says, "Himino wouldn't want this." And then he looks at the cigarette. First of all, yes, she would. She would think this is the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's so good. He's like, "No, that's not our job." And also, Himino wouldn't want it. And then there's a beat, and Denji's basically like, "All right, you got that out of your system?"
He looks at the cigarette and is like, "Okay, what do I get if I win?" And then they both start advancing on it.
God.
Then we get scenes of everybody being arrested and everyone who worked on the operation, like, just looking wistful, intercut with shots of Aki and Denji kicking this guy in the balls as he screams and cries, which they say is a requiem for Himino, and they hope she can hear it.
Right? You can almost hear Ave Maria in the background.
Right? They start playing that fucking song from Cowboy Bebop when he's falling, just to this dude getting kicked in the nuts. They start playing Ballad of the Fallen Angels.
Yep.
Just more AV Hell ideas here.
Yeah, just throwing these out.
God, it would rule if we somehow single-handedly brought AMV Hell back.
Yeah, that'd actually be pretty great.
Makima is reporting to someone and explaining that Sawatari was working with the gun, and she just goes over everything we already know. Mm-hmm. And this guy's like, well, why did she want Denji's heart? Why did the gun devil want Denji's heart? And she says, before we could ask her, she killed herself. It was probably some weird contract with the gun devil or the snake devil or one of those.
Yeah, she just was absolutely murked as a part of her contract, seemingly. Who knows? Such mystery.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird thing that kills her.
They recovered 1.5 kilos of gun devil flesh, meaning they now have 5 kilograms of it, and it is now trying to rejoin the main body. So the boss asks, where's it headed? And Makima smirks, and then we cut to the ending, which features many great... It's one of those endings that they always do in the last episode of an anime where it's part of the anime with a song.
Mm-hmm. We're having happy roommate moments. It's really good.
Yes. They go grocery shopping and make a really huge meal with tons of shit. And Denji and Power pass out from a food coma. And then after the ED, we're at Aki's apartment. Everybody's passed out, like I said, and he goes out onto the balcony and pulls out the Easy Revenge cigarette and smokes it. And we look at Denji sleeping inside, and we cut to someone's point of view in an alleyway that turns out to be child Denji. He finds a door, and he's like, this is a dream I always have and then always forget. Pochita talks to him through the door, and Denji's like, well, we'll come out so I can pet you even in a dream. That's cool. He's like, no, Denji, don't open the door. Then we cut to a park, and a girl is speaking to Denji, but obviously Denji isn't there. It's like she is speaking to the idea of him. And she asks, between a city mouse and a country mouse, which would you rather be? And then it's over. That's the end of the season.
Very conclusive.
I'm so satisfied.
Yum.
It definitely animated the panels that I saw and made me want to watch the show. Oh, wait, no, it didn't.
And now the resisting reading the manga begins.
As always.
Yeah. For who knows how long, because Mappa is fucking covered in projects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like, as soon as they did that little tease in the next arc, I'm like, oh, you dicks.
Yeah, they couldn't end it 10 seconds earlier and not do that.
I forgot that door shit didn't start happening till this late.
I forgot the door shit at all, actually.
I remembered the door shit, and I kept wondering when we were going to resolve that. And as it turns out, it's the last couple minutes of the last episode this season.
Yeah, because that showed up, episode 1 or 2?
1 and 2?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the break to wait for all of the English dub to come out and watch that before we get the second season. I feel like I'm very interested in that. Fun fact, people who've listened to this whole podcast series may have heard me say the guy at Whataburger do say a thing that spoiled Chainsaw Man and I want to punch him in the mouth. That did not come up yet.
Yeah, of course not.
Of course not.
Motherfucker.
This was the day the first episode of Chainsaw Man went up.
Yeah.
What an asshole. just a complete subhuman.
Anime fans be like, hey, you're watching a thing I enjoy? Let me explain the major spoiler. And I'm like, okay, cool, great.
God. We have some segments to get to.
Let's go.
But first, if you'd like to support this show, which was very taxing on our mental well-being. So if you'd like to give us incentive to continue doing this when the next season comes out, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits other than simply supporting the Podcast Devil. You get early access to Chugging Bleach and Pokemon Go to the Movies, our 2 monthly anime review podcasts, wherein we review 5 or more episodes of Bleach and an entire Pokemon animated movie. We're going to be doing both of those until we're dead. You also get bonus content for various other shows we do, and you get a patron exclusive show, one a month, where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. And if you contribute to our Patreon, you actually get the entire backlog of those patron exclusive shows. So there is 60 terrible movies or good movies that we watched and then talk about just waiting for you, including such classics as 2 horrible Hallmark movies, Good Burger, George of the Jungle, The Golden Compass, a movie no one should ever watch, and many more. That's patreon.com/GB podcasts. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us by telling your friends, liking this video right now, right now on YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube right now, go do it. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Or just leave us a review on your podcast app of choice. Thank you very much. That's patreon.com/GB podcast. It's time for the dingy moment of the week.
Dingy moment of the week.
Bob, what was the dingy moment of the week?
I'm going to go with when Power's introducing herself to the zombies and talking about how cool she is, and he just hit the elevator go up button. I don't want to see any more of this.
That's a strong contender. I'll go next. This was a very minor thing, but after he did that, he just yawns. He's in the middle of this death mission, and he's like, "Man, I wish I was at home."
I'm so bored.
Any job's a job, I guess.
Right?
Aggro.
Basically, directly after that, we're just kind of chaining these together. When he's in the hallway with Katana Man, and Katana Man's like, don't you feel bad about killing people? What are you, a complete fucking psychopath? And I swear, if this had been written in the 90s, like, oh, let us kill you. Sure. Not. Denji is confronted with the context of his own complete lack of empathy, and it's not just that he doesn't care, it doesn't even register.
No, it really doesn't.
And finally, Dan.
Look, Denji moment of the week here obviously is the moment that Denji sums himself up perfectly when Katana Dude's just like, what is your deal? Why are you doing this? What's up? And Denji just goes, I gotta deal with a nag and a brat, but I get to eat food. That's pretty cool. And if I kick your ass, a pretty lady will pat me on the head. But that feels great. I love Denji. He's so strong.
And with that, I guess we should talk about what we thought of the episode. And not only that, I guess the season in general. I guess let's bother Dan again. Dan can start.
Yeah, sure. This was a really great season of anime. I love anime. But no, seriously, this was really great. The only problem is that there isn't more immediately, which is when you know you did it right. When that's the number one problem. I really appreciate a lot of the animated fight scenes in this. Just they have a good kinetic energy to them that feels awesome to watch. They set up and pulled off this arc really well, in my opinion, as someone who didn't read the manga. There was a lot of sadness of people passing. There's a lot of wicked awesome moments. And we had an awesome cast of characters. Chainsaw Man Season 1 is really freaking good, you guys. And a good thing, too, because I had to meet here like once a week to record a podcast about it.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God it was good.
Imagine if they brought out a total hack director and ruined it.
Oh, God.
Every week we just show up to be mad.
Yeah. Oh, man. Just imagining what Biscuit Hammer.
Yeah, I was going to say like Chainsaw Man and Biscuit Hammer.
Oh, shut up. I'm so upset. Bob.
Yeah, no, this was great. I'm really glad that they did this, that I waited to watch this as the anime instead of just reading the whole manga and then not having a surprise as watching the anime. Like, I'm very glad I went with it this way. I'm probably going to go back and read the manga now. Up to this point. I don't want to go any farther because then I'll ruin the surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, the surprise of when a guy at Whataburger tells you.
No! Yeah, don't want to ruin that.
So I'm glad Kobeni got one more thing, and I'm kind of surprised that her just typical weapon is a kitchen knife.
Aggro.
Yeah, this episode specifically, like the fight with Katana Man is interesting because it's unlike any other fight in Chainsaw Man because it's so like fights in other stuff where it's two guys weapon fighting on top of a train.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we started this series, I kept thinking, where the fuck do you cut this off for 12 episodes? Like, where do you just put the hammer down and call it a season? And then it happened, and I went, huh. Like, we've talked a lot about Chainsaw Man pacing. I've heard there are certain online groups that are really, really pissed about the pacing this show had, what it decided to spend time on, and where it cuts off. I don't know if you could have done a better slice of this story than this. I'm really happy about how this all came together, where they're like, this is a whole arc. They somehow reached into that soup and came out with a single arc.
Yeah, because even Liz, once it's over, it was like, well, I guess that didn't feel like it should have been an ending. Like, but they made it feel conclusive in their own way.
They gave you micro closure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that the chainsaw pacing meme doesn't really start until immediately after this. So when that second season comes, it really is going to be like we're getting into the DeLorean. Being like, okay, we're going to hit 88 miles an hour and we're going to see some serious shit.
I keep waiting for the announcement. Like, yeah, it's getting a second core. We're going to release 4 episodes, and then we're going to release 2 movies, and then you have to watch the rest of the season.
Yay. This podcast is a mess.
Thankfully, Mappa does not have the staff or time or human life force to do that.
It's really great in this season, episode 12. It took Denji 12 episodes to figure out that he can use his feet to fight. If somebody wants to get the episode count on how long that took Deku in My Hero Academia.
Oh, no.
Denji is clearly the smartest combat genius in anime history.
Oh, wow. That's impressive, actually, when you frame it like that.
Yeah, I was actually getting a little bit worried, like, with the pacing until this episode, because I'm like, wow, that really just ended kind of fast, didn't it? Huh? We cleaned them up in 15 minutes.
Yeah, Saratari's almost taken care of off screen, it feels like.
It really does kind of sell home, like, these guys are ultimately really unimportant. They're just thugs who got a little bit too much power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just came in sideways and hit fast.
I'm just thinking about, again, My Hero Academia, where it's like, no, the super Yakuza are really dangerous and important. It's here, it's like, no, they're bitches. They just get rinsed.
We're a necessary evil. No, you aren't. Okay. Damn, this Makima has hands.
Yeah, God. Putting Makima in any other series would really resolve most conflicts pretty quickly.
She's just that productive a person, I guess. Oh no, the Saiyans are on Earth.
you see, we need the edit, once again for the new AMV Hell that's coming out soon.
Finally.
Of Makima twisting her hands like that and Frieza just getting eviscerated.
She does the juicing motion. We cut to Nappa and Vegeta's pods in space, and you hear what sounds like a water balloon pop, and that little window just turns red.
Zarkrax is like, I'm suing you for ripping off the name AMV Hell, and I'm like, really? You're gonna take credit as the creator of AMV Hell, even still, after all you've been through? Zarkrax is like, never mind, you're right. Just leaves.
I'm pretty sure he did end it with, if anyone wants to take over, please.
Oh, okay.
I'm done.
I bet people have done that several times by now. No one noticed.
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably what's up.
We'll do it right, though. No, we won't. We're never actually doing it.
You do know I'm in one of the AMV Hells twice, right?
Oh, okay, Dan, you want to do it? Okay.
Yeah, I need more projects. I'm sleeping too many hours.
Let's do it, Dad. Let's do it, and let's call it AMV Hell 4, because fuck all those other ones.
Wait a minute, I'm in one of those other ones. Oh no! I can't believe I retconned myself, the hit new anime.
See you next season.
Whenever that is.
The executive producers for this month on GigaBoots are Esme, Ely Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, The Plan, Cooper Tank, Very Best Plot, Iconic Bane, and